Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're digging into some insights from Maurice, who's a real expert in hospitality, specifically food and beverage.
That's right.
And this is really aimed at hotel and restaurant owners listening in.
hmm
We want to pull out some practical, actionable ideas for, maybe reinventing your space a little.
Exactly. We're working from some notes of his, let's call it text call, which lays out 7 inspiring concepts.
Right, 7 ways to maybe make your restaurant shine a bit brighter.
Yeah, and the big theme here, as Maurice sees it, is moving beyond just, well, being a place to eat.
It's about creating something more.
Spaces with stories, innovation,
hmm
and really at the core, genuine hospitality. It's about elevating the whole experience.
Okay, makes sense. So let's jump into that first idea from Maurice. Getting inspired by others but staying true to yourself. He brings up Narisawa in Japan.
Yes. With the tableside bread baking, it became a huge thing.
So what's the takeaway there for, say, a restaurant owner?
Well, Maurice's point is, look around. See what your competitors are doing that's maybe exciting or effective, but, and this is key, don't just copy it.
Right.
Figure out why it resonates with people. Then, adapt that core idea to fit your unique concept, your brand.
So maybe it's not bread, but it could be like a unique tableside cocktail mix
Yeah.
or some kind of interactive tasting element.
Precisely. Something that feels authentic to you, but still borrows that element of engagement or theater.
Okay, got it. Then Maurice talks about anchoring in the local environment, which feels really relevant now, doesn't it?
Totally. In this super globalized world, people are actively seeking authenticity. They want a connection to the place they're in.
He mentioned those black muck carrots in New York as an example, like really highlighting a specific local product.
Exactly. It's about telling a story that's rooted right there. Maurice suggests, using local produce, sure, but also maybe weaving in local traditions, cultural symbols in the decor, maybe even dish names.
Could you partner with local farms or artisans?
Absolutely. Or, like Maurice hinted, maybe take a local classic, that New York black and white cookie, and give it a modern gourmet twist. It shows you understand and respect the local culture.
Interesting. Now, shifting gears a bit, Maurice brings up trusting your team. This one feels important. He says authentic service can't be totally scripted.
Yeah, he even gave an example of a place that got criticized for being too formal, too robotic with their speeches.
And they changed it.
They did. They moved to more natural interactions, and apparently it made a huge difference. The idea is to avoid those really rigid scripts.
So empower the staff more.
Exactly. Train them, give them the knowledge, but then trust them to read the guests and respond genuinely. That autonomy, it builds real authenticity in the service.
That makes a lot of sense.
Mm.
Then there's the idea of evolving without fear. Innovation means taking some risks, right?
Uh-huh.
And Maurice emphasizes you also need to know when to, well, let something go if it's just not working.
He mentioned a restaurant that got rid of some flashy stuff but kept something popular, like a magic trick. Yeah, exactly. They kept an interactive magic element because guests loved it, but maybe scaled back on other things that felt, I don't know, unnecessary, or maybe even ostentatious.
So the lesson is experiment, yes, but be practical. Listen to feedback.
Absolutely. And sometimes, as Maurice points out, simplifying can actually make things better, more impactful.
Which actually leads right into his next point, simplifying for a better experience. He used an example of cutting down the number of courses.
Right. Which might sound counterintuitive, but the idea was it allowed for better connection between the staff and guests, fewer interruptions, more meaningful moments.
So get rid of the fluff.
Pretty much. Eliminate steps that aren't adding real value and focus instead on creating those wow moments. Maybe it is a stunning tableside prep or just a really spectacular presentation of one key dish. Quality over quantity.
Makes sense. And underpinning all of this, Maurice says, is hospitality. That's the real key differentiator.
Definitely. He shared that story of a restaurant winning an award, and their whole mantra was basically just be the most delicious and gracious restaurant in the world. Simple, but powerful.
It puts people first.
Exactly. Both your team and your guests. Maurice stresses defining clear values around people and letting those guide everything. That genuine care, that hospitality. It's like a superpower in this business.
That's a great way to put it. Finally, Maurice touches on turning conflicts or challenges into opportunities.
Yeah, he gives the example of a chef who, after a difficult split or situation, went on to launch this whole coalition to support independent restaurants.
So taking a negative and turning it positive.
Right. It's about resilience, but also about ethics. staying true to your values, being willing to pivot if something isn't right, and maybe even using your expertise for a bigger cause.
Wow. Okay, so drawing all this together from Maurice's insights, excellence in this industry is really a journey, isn't it? It involves creativity, being humble, paying attention to all those details.
Absolutely. We've touched on, getting inspired the right way, being authentic and local, trusting your team, being adaptable, simplifying effectively, leading with hospitality, and finding strength in setbacks.
So for all the owners and managers listening, reflecting on these ideas from Maurice, what's maybe one small concrete change you could implement, maybe even this week, to start that process of reinvention and create an even more magical experience for your guests?
That's the question to ponder, isn't it? Where can you start?